Alright, so the Demon King was just revealed on the JP and KR live streams, and he is, as a unit, looking fantastic. He is, of course, gonna revive the Demon team to be the best meta team. The Demon teams will be on top once again. And that does scare me a little bit. Not just because, of course, the Demon team got a new unit. I would have much preferred it to be a Meliodas team to sort of balance out the Demon team, because right now you will be able to have the Demon King there rather than, say, frontline Zeldris. You will have Festival Estarossa and any one of the Meliodases. Perg melee, LR Lost Vein melee, and you're all set. Like, that is a super good team. There's no team that's gonna come even close to that in the near future, and that is sort of my biggest fear. So unfortunately, that is my biggest fear. And on top of that, Estarossa, Festival Estarossa actually got a Holy Relic. We'll talk about all of that. We talk about what the Demon King actually does. We talk about what Estarossa's Holy Relic does, and we talk about the future of Grand Cross PvP. So yeah, let's just get into it. Now, first of all, the Demon King does look super amazing. We'll just go over the rough translations here of what he actually does. So basically, his name is the Ruler Tyrant Demon King. His passive is the Ruler of the Rules, and it states that at the beginning of battle, apply Ruler of the Rules for 2 turns on the unit and apply Return to Demon allies for 2 turns. At the start of allies turn, the unit increases attack related stats by 18% for every return gone from allies. When the unit is alive on the battlefield, seals all effects from commandments, and for every dead ally with a commandment, increases 30% of his attack. So basically, Estarossa's commandment won't even be a thing anymore. So that means you can run Assault Mode Meliodas with Estarossa without having Assault Mode Meliodas have his like buffs get removed because of like Estarossa's commandment, because the Demon King will seal the commandment. And in the clips, at least on the JP side, they actually showed the little icon down in the bottom left. That's actually a seal on the commandments. So commandments don't really work when the Demon King is alive, of course, because he has basically absorbed all the commandments. So there's that. The door opens up for like a potential of not just using Perg melee, not just using LR Lost Vein Meliodas, but also using AM melee or some other older units, you know. Now, the passive itself is a mouthful. I guess we'll just have to wait for the like translations on Grand Cross database or for the live translations whenever this is revealed on global, because I don't really know exactly how this return does, because he applies return on all allies for 2 turns, and for every return that is removed, he gets like 18% attack related stats. So are the return buffs removed only when a demon ally dies, or are they removed after like 2 turns? That is sort of the question. So that means you do have to kind of try to survive for 2 turns and then have them naturally be removed, or will they be removed if a ally also dies? Does that actually count? So that's very interesting. Now, the buff that he applies for 2 turns, that is called Ruler of the Rules, basically states that the damage taken at the enemy's turn cannot exceed 50% of the unit's max HP. So he has a damage cap of 50%. You cannot deal more damage than that. If you do have Tarmin Grace on him, it's gonna take at least 3 attacks that hit damage cap in order to kill him. So that is pretty broken. And it also states that when Ruler of the Rules is removed, removes all debuffs applied to the unit and increases all stats by 20% and ranks up the unit's cards by 1 rank. So this means that at the start of battle, he applies the Ruler of the Rules, and it lasts for 2 turns. And then after those 2 turns, he is gonna cleanse all the debuffs from himself, give himself 20% all stats, and rank up all his cards. But he will not have the damage cap of 50% anymore. So that's pretty nuts, because the damage cap basically allows him to survive the first 2 turns, and after that, he's just gonna start popping off. He's gonna get the 20% all stats. After those 2 turns, the return buffs are gonna be removed on all allies, and he's gonna get 18% additional attack related stats for every return that has been removed. So there's gonna be like, what, 36% additional attack related stats? That's so crazy. And he's also gonna increase his own attack by 30% on top of that. Like, that's, he has 2 skill cards. One is a single target attack card, the other is a AoE debuff card. So the single target attack card basically does 200% multiplier, that is on gold, I believe, as like execution damage. So execution damage is basically 60% attack boost when the skill is used, and a 2 times crit chance. Very nuts, considering the Demon King actually has 124% crit chance. So 2 times crit chance on that card basically means that he will always crit. He's also gonna deal an additional 60% of his attack as extra damage there. Very nuts. The AoE card is a 210% multiplier. I do believe this is also on gold, and it applies a Mark of Death for 1 turn. Now, the Mark of Death is basically a infect with some additional effects. So what it says, that Mark of Death seals the enemy's healing and decreases critical defense and resistance by 40%. That's nuts. That is very nuts. So basically, he will infect them and also reduce their crit resistance and crit defense, so that they will be crit a lot easier by your whole team. They will take more damage whenever you do happen to crit them, and they can't even heal, not with Torment Grace or anything like that. Very nuts. His ultimate is, and I do believe this is on 6/6, it states that decreases all stats by 50% for 2 turns and attacks with 750% multiplier, and applies stage 4 dark effect for 2 turns. And now it says that stage 4 dark effect is no skills can be used including ultimate ultimates. So he's basically gonna seal the enemy's whole hand. It's like what? A festival gopher gold card on his ultimate? But I think that is the 6/6 effect. I'm not sure exactly how high that, you know, multiplayer goes. If it's like all stat decrease, that's the only thing that increases, or is it gonna go from like 1 to 2 turns of that stage 4 dark effect? We don't know. It does sound very nuts though. So that is what he does. He looks super good. His cosmetics don't look half bad either. I honestly like one of them. Some of them look really bad though. Like some of them I'll never touch ever. I'll get them, but I'll never touch them. I mean, it just is what it is. But he might get some more cosmetics in the future, of course, through the Hawk Pass and stuff like that, but for now, yeah. Oh, and he is a dark type unit. I forgot to mention that. He is a dark type unit, so yeah, you're gonna be able to benefit from the dark typing as well, so that is very nice. Now we'll go over Estarossa's Holy Relic. So basically what this Holy Relic does is sort of a light version of Athena's passive, the King of Fighters collaboration character, where if you do happen to kill an enemy, all other enemies will have their ult gauge depleted by 1 orb at the end of turn. I do believe Athena's does 2 turn, and then there's also the Halloween Eastin. Works with humans, of course, and removes ult gauge orbs by 2 as well, as like increasing human allies basic stats or something like that. So you're basically going to be able to prevent enemies from ult rushing as long as Estarossa is alive, and I do believe if he does die, the Demon King is of course going to get some crazy buffs. Now let's just talk about why I feel like this is bad. Of course, I wanted it to be a Demon King Meliodas, not just because Meliodas in that form, the grown-up adult form, looks super crazy good, but also because that would sort of not make the demon team so goddamn broken like I think it will be now. Now this is of course all speculation, like we don't know exactly how broken it will be. We don't know if there is any good counters to it either. I guess time will tell. We will have to test out some different teams, but as you know, like the demon team, ever since Pergmelli came out, the demon team has been on top for like 5 or 6 months, and only recently, you know, once Ban came out, the Sins team started like popping off as well, and then Tyr came out, and now, you know, the Unknown / Ragnarok teams are also like popping off. So we finally started getting some different teams that are maybe even a little bit better than the Demon team, and then they just released Demon King. And I'm not sure if it is a Demon King Zeldris, like if you can run backline Zeldris or whatever. You can most definitely run backline Cusack or something, but now that team is gonna be so goddamn broken, because you do have the Demon King, you do have Festival Estarossa, you do have any of like the Festival Meliodases, and it's gonna be the best team in the game until we get something even more broken, which we honestly might never even do. Maybe Chaos Arbor will be that something more broken, but then just a month later we're probably gonna get a super broken Meliodas as like a New Year's unit. So the demons will be on top again, and yeah, that is a little bit of my fear. Like ever since, and I've been saying this over and over again like a broken record, but ever since the One Ultimate came out, just before the One Ultimate came out, we had like 8, 9, 10 viable teams in PvP. It was such a good time for Grand Cross. Then the One Ultimate came out, that sort of started, you know, crumbling. We only had like any team that uses the One Ultimate was gonna be the best team. And then Pergmelli came out and the demons were on top, and they've been on top until just recently, until the 4th anniversary for the JP release, you know, with Ban and now with Tyr. So we do have some sort of different teams that we can start to use again, not just the demon team, but there are most definitely some teams that we can use. And now the Demon King drops, Festival Estarossa's Holy Relic drops, and you're only gonna be able to use the demon team. So if you have built out the demon team, if that has been one of your teams that you have focused on in the last 6 months, congratulations, just pull on the Demon King. Try to focus on maybe getting Estarossa's Holy Relic. It's not the best Holy Relic, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the best Holy Relic, but it is most definitely something, and it is gonna you know, help the demon team out tremendously anyway. So yeah, you're all set there. If you just summon for those units, you will have the best team in the game, most likely. So I mean, 1, good for you, but 2, PvP is gonna be so goddamn boring again. It's just gonna be demon team over and over again for months and months. Now I don't think, like, even with new collaborations, that might change, unless it's something super broken, like some really good unknown or human teams that can sort of come back into the meta and maybe even counter the demon team. I'm not sure, but yeah, that is my biggest fear. My biggest fear came true, I think, but we'll just have to wait and see exactly how broken busted the demon team is now with the new Demon King as well as Estarossa's Holy Relic. But yeah, that is it for me. Do let me know down in the comments, are you hyped for the Demon King? Are you hyped for Estarossa's Holy Relic? Do you also fear what this will mean for like Grand Cross PvP in the coming months? Do sound off down in the comments. But with that, I think that's gonna be it for me. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a most wonderful rest of your day, and yeah, I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.